Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Freshly Squeezed Sports Podcast. I'm Christian Schneider. I'm here with my buddy Pratik Parmar. Let's jump in. We got an action-packed game between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. It was a crazy game, back and forth the whole time, and then Jimmy Buckets comes up clutch in the end. What do you think about that game and the performances overall?
I think that a person like Jimmy B dropping 40 is very different from somebody like Donovan Mitchell or Jamal Murray dropping 40 plus points because this is way more impactful, bro. This is a different type of 40 points. This is like, fuck. And my boy Giannis got robbed. Honestly, he did really well, but this is not the same kind of situation where, I feel like obviously he did his thing, but like this is where part of his gameplay lacks, where we're talking about 3-point shooting, where we're talking about field goal shooting, and then obviously this guy's a fundamental bucket shooter. He will
Hmm.
make sure that any team that he faces, he's gonna drop consistent buckets. He's gonna make sure that both teams are reaching their point output by the end of the game. But he's not the guy that's dropping clutch fat shots. And I
Hmm.
think that's where Jimmy B really iced him. And that's where I want Giannis to develop because obviously he's my favorite player, but this guy is not. Like I just want him to do that side of things as a player. But let's talk more about that, man. Let me know what you think.
Well, man, what a performance by everyone except for Giannis Antetokounmpo. That was this has been a savage game one, and it's completely shifted my perspective on the entire series. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, at risk of pulling a Paul Pierce from last
Okay.
year's playoffs. Paul Pierce came out after a Boston game one in round two,
Yeah.
if you remember. Boston beat the Milwaukee Bucks in game one, and he said, "That's it. It's over. Boston's winning the series. It's done. Milwaukee's
Hmm.
done." Right? Obviously, famous last words. They come back 5-1. I'm gonna go ahead, put myself out on the limb. The Miami Heat are winning this series easily. I don't think it's going to be
Ooh.
a problem for him, man.
Okay.
Here we go. Jimmy Butler, 40 points tonight. Clutch buckets, buckets all the way through. Every single bucket he had, like you said, was an important one, right? They were down midway through the third quarter. Giannis subs out. He got 12 points in a row by himself in the Miami Heat team when they were trailing to come back and bring this game to a tie game. At the end of the game, hitting turnaround, spinning, mid-range twos. He's running to the rim, hitting floaters, running away onto the baseline. This guy is absolutely unstoppable. He's getting clutch steals at the end. At the late in the game, he got a steal. Goes to the basket for gets hard fouled. He's doing absolutely everything. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing from the Milwaukee Bucks, and especially
Okay.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. And let me
All right.
start with this. Wait. Here's the biggest problem. Let's do a little math here. Let's do a little math equation. All
Go
right.
ahead.
Do
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
know what Giannis shot from the free throw line tonight?
I know
Pop
that
quiz.
I definitely know that he shot worse percentage than his actual field goal percentage, which is already
Four,
bad enough,
four for
which is
12.
beyond bad enough. But
4 for 12
yeah,
from the free
yeah,
throw
4 for
line. That
12
is
of the free.
absolutely
Yeah,
unacceptable.
he
From a
shot like
star of
that.
that caliber, 4 for 12. How much did they lose by? How much did they lose by, Pratik?
Well, I mean, okay, it was only a plus 10-point gap. It was only 11-point gap, but
Yes.
that literally was made up by Giannis's free throw deficit, which is crazy. I know, but that is the single one thing that you also want to blame the team on, which is their loss. Which you want to say that Giannis is the reason that they lost, but that's not the case because of the first series. I just want to say that I know he could have done better in terms of how well he shot, but he is not the reason that they did not lose a first game series against Orlando. He is not the reason that they lost, and I don't think that today they are the reason that they lost too.
Man, I think you're just flat wrong on this one. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo has been solved. I think the Toronto Raptors solved him in the 2019 playoffs. They figured him out. They funneled him to their bigs. He can't get to the rim, or they foul him. They put him at the foul line. He's gonna miss, they play great defense. Bam Adebayo played spectacular in the paint. They got guys like Dre Crowder. I mean, and and all season, I mean, the Bucks obviously have a great offense. They have
Yeah.
Giannis,
Hmm.
and they have shooters just surrounded by him completely. The entire team can shoot threes. You saw Kyle Korver coming out tonight, but that's the
Right.
thing, Milwaukee's the rest of the team played fantastic. Chris Middleton played great. Brooke Lopez has arrived in playoffs. He is here in the bubble. He had a mediocre shooting season, but he's looking like the Brick Lopez from the 2019 playoffs, where he's just really draining everything. And I think with the performance that he got from his supporting cast, and the fact that they didn't cash out a win tonight speaks volumes to the kind of team that the Miami Heat is. And everyone was doing it on the Heat. They are such. I think they might have the best. They might have one of the best. I don't. I'm gonna say this on a whim, so I might not say the best, but one of the best
Okay.
supporting or top nine rotations in the entire
Yeah.
league.
Okay. I I actually do agree with that. Like they do have a fat rotation in terms of their whole team is pretty relatively balanced. It's the same way that I feel like people view Raptors is the same way that I think people view Miami is that I think their team is deep. They have people who like can facilitate on every type of position. And so that's the same way that I feel like Miami is going to beat the Bucks. But listen, bro, the Bucks have a superstar. That's the same X factor that every team that's ever won a series has is the superstar. So I'm just gonna
And
say that. Listen, bro, Giannis ain't a joke, man. When people are like, "Yo, this guy is not proving himself to be what he is this season," no, he is. He's just not proving himself to be what you guys thought he wanted to be, which is that you want him to drop 3-point clutch shots. You want him to drop that Luka Doncic game 4 shot. He is not going to do that, bro. He is not that guy.
no, I'm not asking him to be that guy. You know what I'm asking him to
I don't.
be? I'm asking him to hit his free throws. That's what I'm asking him from him.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
And you
his
know
free
what?
throws are a big deal.
If he goes 10 for 12, right? Obviously it's you can't go perfect when you're going to line that much. If he goes
Yeah.
9 for 12, they're in the game late. And obviously some of those points late, I mean, it was the hard Jimmy bucket foul. So like it was an 11-point game, but if that game's closer down the stretch from the free
Mhm.
throws he should have made earlier, it's a much closer game. They're in it. Anything can happen down the line, right? It's just that obviously at the end of the game, separation happens, then start fouling. So it was really a much closer game than the score indicated, and the difference really was I saw in those free throws. And I mean, we saw this with LeBron too. Like LeBron's a classic; he's a superstar, but they have trouble at the line in clutch
Yep.
moments, and we even saw from Anthony Davis in that series. But these superstars can't be doing that. Let's look at Jimmy Butler from the line, right? Let's see how many free throws he had. 13 free throws tonight. He made 12 of them. So Jimmy Buckets does the same thing as Giannis, and then the game is it's the exact same thing. But he made his free throws. Giannis didn't. And to me, that was a massive, massive change in the game. And to that point of people look at Miami like Toronto, I was the same way. I see Siakam and Butler. I saw them as the same. But to me now, Butler has eclipsed the point where I think he can be the best player on a championship team.
Okay. Okay. I feel that. I understand what you're trying to say, but where I want to strike the complete discrepancy between Giannis and Jimmy B is that Giannis, obviously, he did not have a 40-point output in terms of his scoring, but let's not forget his rebounds. Let's not forget his assists. Let's not forget that he is also a defensive player of the year, bro. People want to just undermine this guy. Like, it's always a joke as to, okay, maybe this guy doesn't have that same offensive output, but that's the same doubt that everybody has with the Raptors is that every time they face somebody like the Celtics, okay, game 1 they lost. Let's talk more about that in the future, obviously in our next video. But like, you know, yo, it's not an understatement, bro. Like obviously the Celtics are a crazy team, but let's not forget that the Raptors came off a low morale. They also came off, you know, them literally saying that we wanted to leave the bubble immediately. This is not something we even want to do, bro. People need to understand that a team morale is not like a thing to be joked about. The Milwaukee Bucks were, apart from the Raptors, the second team to be like, we don't want to be in the bubble. We don't want to be a part of this because we have other things we want to worry about. So I just want to say that, listen, bro, Giannis is a hard body guy, bro. let's not joke around about what this guy can really output in a real playoff game. He already is defensively always there. He will drop a triple double almost no problem. Almost no problem. He will drop at least 10 plus points, 15 points per plus per game, which is what Ben Simmons drops, which is ass anyways. And then let's talk about, his rebound output, which is easily 10 plus every time. He double doubles, no problem. And then his assists, bro. Yo, what do you mean, bro? How is a guy who doesn't even play point guard normally dropping 6, 7 assists per game? It's like this is like
He
people are
dropped
just
9
shitting on him
tonight.
for no reason. He dropped 9 tonight. Okay,
Yeah.
so people are clearly shitting on him for. I don't think that is righteous to be like, yo, Giannis is a bad player. He's the reason that Milwaukee's losing. I don't think so.
And listen, I maybe am coming down a little hard for him on the free throws, and
Yeah.
obviously it was just one night. And to your point, he's a spectacular player, but I just need to see a little something more from him. He tonight, it seemed like he was okay with his the rest. I mean, it was team ball, and team ball is important, but he was a little too okay with everyone else taking the shots that were important. And I think down the stretch, he's going to need to take on a bigger responsibility as the superstar, like Jimmy Butler did tonight. And that's where my problem lies. But mainly, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think in general the way we haven't talked about the supporting cast as much, but I think the back to Miami Heat's top 9 rotation. They every single player on that team can absolutely ball. Duncan Robinson is an elite 3-point shooter. They have 3-point shooting just
Robinson? Oh God.
yeah, elite 3-point shooter in this league. He has the 4th highest percentage in the league this year. He was an elite 3-point shooter. Tyler Hero might be the most fearless man I've ever seen. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like him when he first came into the league because when you see a rookie come in and they're so fearless and almost cocky and taking shots that you feel they shouldn't be taking, then it's a little disheartening to see. But he's taken on that responsibility and taken on the challenge of being one of the better
Yep,
rookies in the
I
league.
agree.
And so that's the bottom line. I think Andre Iguodala, they have lots of veteran leadership with
Exactly.
Iguodala and
Exactly.
Crowder. Goran, and let me say this. I spoke about this in an earlier podcast. Playoff Dragic is real, and I warned you guys about him. Playoff Dragic, he's a guy who's at a point in his career where he's not pouring it on, and people forget about him. He's not a fantasy pickup, right? He's not a guy you're going to pick up for your fantasy team. He's maybe a fringe guy, pours it on every couple nights. But he, for the most part, at this point, he saves himself in the regular season so he can turn it on in playoffs. And you saw that at the
Goran
end of Wade's
Dragic
career.
is no joke, bro. Goran Dragic, first of all, back when Raptors were ripping DeRozan on the team, we were already getting slaughtered by Miami back in Goran
Oh
Dragic
man,
days, bro.
he was a
Goran
problem.
Dragic was dropping dimes like it was a real problem.
He was a
So,
problem.
yeah,
And tonight he
obviously,
dropped 27.
yeah, and it's still no joke. But let me let me tell you one thing about Giannis, bro. I know that everybody is worried about his field goal percentage. He only dropped 18 points. You know, he obviously shot 50%, but he wasn't shooting the same volume that you want him to, right? Yo, the next game, man, all I'm gonna say is that I feel like the same way that many players were doubting people like Harden and were doubting people that can score on a real playoff output, like on a real playoff range, where when in high pressure situation things matter. I feel like Giannis will show up within the coming games. Like maybe maybe the first series was not a good representation. Orlando, the first game was obviously a complete anomaly, but like you saw how Giannis went off the rest of the games. I feel like the same thing will happen with this series. Miami was not an anomaly more so, but it was more so like Milwaukee was shocked that this was going to be the challenge that they have to face in the next round. And so I feel like the next game, obviously Milwaukee's going to show up, bro. Milwaukee is the type of team where as soon as you fall behind them, you're never going to catch up.
I will say it has been really good to see Chris Middleton find his groove. And
Middleton had more minutes than Giannis, bro. Middleton had more minutes than Giannis tonight.
That's crazy to me. He
That's
was
how you
balling.
know Middleton has retarded defensive ability. He has many things that you want to worry about as another team. Like, I don't know, man. Like in terms of all kinds of stuff, bro. Well, we could talk about all day about Middleton, you know. I want to get
Absolutely.
I want to get Jasmine on here. You know what I'm saying? I want Jasmine
He
to talk about.
he's not a Middleton
Yeah,
fan, but man, I think let's just start to wrap this up. But I think we have two very obvious directions where we think this
yeah.
series is going to go. I'm going to take the Heat. I'm going to say the Heat in 6 games, like the Toronto Raptors last year. I think it's happening in 6.
I
Give me your
think
prediction. What's your prediction?
I think Bucks and 5.
Oh, you think Bucks in 5? You think it's
Yeah,
going to be a sweep, a
yeah,
reverse sweep?
yeah,
Oh my gosh! Hot take
yeah.
of the century, man.
It's okay, man.
Oh my goodness.
Listen,
Okay,
bro.
we'll see where this series
After
goes.
after Orlando lost to, or after Orlando beat Bucks, you know, everybody was like, "Wow, Bucks are the most trash team ever, bro." Listen, bro.
So you think
Stop
I'm gonna
talking
pull
shit
a
about
Paul
the Bucks,
Pierce?
man.
You think I'm gonna pull a Paul Pierce right now?
Sort of.
You
Yeah.
you're calling because this is what happened. Boston
Oh
won the
yeah.
first game of the series, and then Milwaukee came to win 4 in a row. So that's what you think. You think I'm calling out the Heat, and
Well,
that it's gonna be a.
if not, if not 4 in a row, I definitely think max game 6.
Hey, you know what? If I pull a Paul Pierce here, I will absolutely own up to it. Maybe we can put
Okay.
something on the line. We'll talk about it in another game. Maybe we can
Fair
make a
enough.
little friendly wager.
All right, man.
I'll have to get a Giannis jersey or something if he shows up and they win 4 straight. I will be absolutely
Fuck
shocked.
you. Okay, hold on.
I would be.
Let's talk about a Giannis jersey. Give me 1 second, bro. Hold on.
What, bro?
What do you think, man? Huh? Throw it
Man,
on.
I think
Throw it
you
on.
should throw that in the trash. Hey, you know what? You know what? Here's what you got to do. Here's what you got to do. You got to throw that in the trash, and then you can buy one when he comes to the Toronto Raptors in free agency. And hey, you know what? All these people, I absolutely love Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think he's a beast, but I don't think he's gonna have it for this Milwaukee team. And you know what? You got to save that for when he comes to the Toronto Raptors, and we have a real game plan for him. We put a real team around him, and man.
We'll see, man.
All right, we'll see. Well, you know what? I think we can agree on one thing after this discussion. I think we can agree on one thing, right? You got your arm in. You having some trouble, man? You got your arm in the head hole.
Christian, this is like
You
this
got-
is absolute.
That's how Giannis played tonight. That was a representation of how Giannis played tonight.
It's okay, man. It happens. If you want, throw that whole thing into the clip, bro. It's all good. Giannis is about to make a recovery.
That's his move. Oh, he does the big man move. All right, man. Well, you know what? We can agree on one thing after tonight. You know what that is? You know what that is, Pratik?
Yeah, let me know.
It's that the Philadelphia 76ers are the absolute losers of this playoff series, and that they are missing Jimmy buckets heavily. If he was on that Sixers
My
team,
cousin,
who
bro.
knows how that series would have went with
My
the
cousin
Celtics,
is
man.
so upset about that. He keeps trying to vent to me that if Philly had Ben Simmons, they would be a bigger candidate than Raptors would be. That's literally what he told me.
Jimmy buckets or Ben Simmons?
No, he is just saying that in general, Philly with Ben Simmons now would probably be a bigger candidate this playoffs than Raptors would be.
But I'm saying we can agree after tonight's performance from Jimmy Butler that Philly would have done a lot better keeping Butler in that sign and trade.
Well, I agree. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So that's what I think we can finish on.
Yeah.
Philly is the biggest loser of the playoffs, but
the next time.
we'll come back for the next
For the
series.
next
We'll see
time.
how this will be a fun series. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah. 100%,
All right.
bro. All right. But anyways, guys, obviously we look forward to seeing you guys for the next pod. What do you
Thanks
think?
for tuning
Christian?
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate it. We're coming out with more videos for the rest of the playoffs. We're going to start getting into a regular cadence with these videos, so we're excited to cover the rest of the playoffs now that we're out of the first round and it's really starting to heat up. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah. Peace out.
Peace out.